Finally, I get my hands on the new hybrid Bentley Continental GT, the most powerful Bentley ever produced. Welcome to Supercars of London in Switzerland, which is one of the most beautiful countries, but not quite the best place to exert all of this power out of this car because Switzerland has some of the strictest speeding laws in the world. Don't worry though, we will find some tarmac where there aren't speed cameras or police to take full advantage of the 782 PS and 1,000 Newton meters of torque that we get out of this car. But the Continental GT is so important to Bentley, and Bentley predict that in early 2025 they will sell their 100,000th Continental GT. What's even more fascinating is as of 2024, 1 in 4 Bentley customers are choosing plug-in hybrids. So here we have the hybrid Bentley Continental GT. The Continental GT is one of my favorite cars, and I think it's all round one of the most perfect cars for day-to-day life. So is the hybrid any better? That's what we're here to find out. Now, for the first time, Bentley have launched the GTC alongside the GT at the same time, just showcasing how versatile this is as an all-rounder. We've got supercar performance, but the most comfortable, elegant drive that you could possibly imagine in comfort mode. And I've always said, I want a convertible out in the Swiss Alps, so you don't have any pressure of driving fast and you can just take in the views, the wildlife, and more views.
This is like buttons that we don't have. Oh, this must be the roof mechanism.
Yeah.
On the...
Which actually is a nice segue because we actually started the morning at the Chedi in Andermatt, an incredibly sustainable hotel, which we didn't realise.
Yeah.
Doesn't even have aircon. I don't think
well,
you need aircon.
I realised last night that there wasn't any aircon.
But we had a lovely introduction by Bentley for that hotel and the history of it and why we are here, why Bentley have chosen to launch this car here. That hotel,
unbelievable,
stupendous.
I think it's at least top 3 in Europe.
Yeah, it is incredible, absolutely beautiful. The spa was incredible. I did a cold plunge this morning. That's probably why I still got all of this energy. It's about as much as we can do, Seb.
Switzerland.
Thankfully, I've got a relatively local person that can advise me on what not to do and what to do in Switzerland.
Well, don't accelerate and do brake. That's all I'll tell you.
The sun is creeping out. We had a lovely morning, which was ideal considering we started the day at the GTC.
Yeah, it was good weather this morning to have the roof down on that and have that experience as well. But I think we'd probably both have a coupe, right?
Absolutely. The silhouette of the Continental GT, and in my opinion, every car, the coupe form, what?
It's a big statement.
No, I'm saying the coupe form is a better silhouette than a convertible in every form.
Yeah.
Unless you're talking about a Laffer Perta, which is literally just a panel that you remove.
Yeah, or like, okay, if we're going to argue this, the original Gallardo Spider, I thought looked really good in convertible form.
Looked alright, but the coupe looked better.
Alright. Anyway,
here we are!
Yeah.
It's aggressive. That torque fill on the initial acceleration, like where you're low down in the reps, but also the torque infill is a really sort of big eye-opener for me. I had no idea that was even a thing. But in between gear shifts, as you're accelerating, now it's just a constant progression of speed, and there is no jolt, there's no almost let off, you just accelerate through the gears and also through different time zones, which makes the Continental GT in 2024 an even better GT car than it already was, and in my opinion, it was near on perfect anyway. So Bentley have evolved this car in the most perfect form, and we now have that new, incredibly striking, muscular front end, a much more focused front end, where you literally have a singular headlight that they described as like a tiger's eye, was it?
Yeah, so it's resting beast. They want the whole car to look like a resting beast.
Perfect analogy for me, considering my wildlife photography passion.
Yeah.
But yeah, from the side, that resting beast is all of the aggressive shoulders and lines, and essentially imagine a tiger or a lion sat down, head up, looking proud, knowing how powerful it is. You kind of have to give it respect.
Yeah.
And that's what everyone, including us, do when you see a Bentley Continental GT, because you know how good it is. In this colour, it's not something that I would spec or own. But like you said, as a press car, it's cool because you get to see it in these kind of things.
Yeah, it's awesome. It would be a bold one to drive around in every day, but to have for an afternoon like this, it's ideal.
Yeah. I actually really like this light grey interior. And there's so many beautiful diamond finishes now all around the car. The inspiration of diamond in that shape is used almost everywhere, whether it's on the texture of the buttons down here or like there on the door card, in the rear as well with the seats. Like, it's all over the place. It's a very plush place to be, as you would imagine.
Finishing is you have to experience it to understand it. It's almost like Porsche 911s. Everyone always says drive one and then you'll get it, because that's what it's all about. With this, it's like go in one, spend more than 5 minutes in it and touch everything in it, and you'll understand what it's all about.
Yeah. So imagine a slightly imperfect Super GT, and that is now the 2018 Bentley Continental GT, because they have perfected all of its imperfections with the torque, the hybrid system. So flick it into EV mode, you can cruise around in complete silence, which is ideal for cruising through little villages, through towns. We're obviously up in the Swiss Alps, so as you're coming up to restaurants at the top of the mountain passes, you can just put it in EV mode, and there's almost an added layer of luxury to you driving an already incredibly luxurious car. But it also is an incredible supercar performing car.
Nearly 800 horsepower.
Incredibly intelligent torque vectoring system as well, so it's not like you've got all of this power but no cornering capabilities. The way that it sheds its weight as well, the four-wheel steer, everything comes together. No matter what driving style you choose to do in this car, it is perfectly set up to do exactly what you want it to do.
Yeah, well, I'm not trying to take it on track.
I've driven the GT Speed on track, the old model, and it was hilarious fun. What you probably should specify is how many laps on track, because I think after about 10 you'd cook the brakes.
But that's kind of not what it's about, you know? It's about kind of doing what we're doing today. You're able to do a bit of motorway in full comfort, but then when you're on a nice road, you flick it into sport, and it's an enjoyable drive, and you'll eat up the miles much faster than you think.
Yeah.
There are some points also that aren't just to do with the driving experience, but even the cost of buying one of these. So whilst the base price has maybe gone up a little bit, in pretty much every country, because of the better emissions of having the hybrid system, it is much less expensive to register. What's this noise?
Is that in front? You were making a really good point, and we've just been completely ruined by this coach here.
Anyway, basically the CO2 emissions going down because of the hybrid system
reduces the tax. So it's actually the same, if not cheaper, than the outgoing model. Yeah. And you get all the extra advantages. So that's, you know, the driving benefits are huge, but the reality when you come to buy one of these, that is one of the biggest advantages of the hybrid system. I think when we first saw plug-in hybrid systems come into play, we thought that it was like maybe a transitional technology into being fully electric. But now, having driven McLaren Artura, SF90, Rev Vuelto, and now this, where you're able to capture the soul of a car with having this V8, which by the way is a phenomenal 600 PS V8 on its own. The Rev Vuelto is still a V12, the SF90 is a V8, the Artura is a V6. You still have the soul. And all the electrification does is actually improve the imperfections of the engine.
Yeah.
So this hybrid performance setup is one of, if not my favourite setups at the moment. And every single time I drive SF90, the Rev Vuelto that I drive, I just want to get back in those cars because it's so addictive. Putting your foot on that right pedal and just squirting it because it's instant,
Yeah.
but you still hear stuff. And having the Continental GT now hybrid is just the coolest thing. And I mean, I wish I had enough money to not just buy this car, but then to run it and not really worry about the depreciation.
And
just because it's such a good product, I would love to have one on my drive. And I look at, with Sam and you, the older shape Continental GTs, the super sports that are 50, 60 grand that have done the depreciation and now hold incredible value for money. And I'd love to know what happens with the hybrid. I've got a funny feeling that the demand for this in this day and age, like you say, with the taxes, that is going to be an attractive proposition for people.
Definitely.
And they're not going fully electric yet, which means,
thankfully,
yeah, there's still this hunger and desire to listen to that V8 rumble and just plod around, so you just have the best of both worlds. You can have it in electric mode, you can cruise through in complete silence, or if you want, dial it into sport, exhaust valves open, and away you go. Just seems to tick every single box. And I hate that I'm coming to the end of the video whilst we're in this pitch black tunnel.
I think we're coming to peak hybrid
Yeah.
stage. It's taken a long time to develop, and it doesn't actually take much of the character out, as you were saying. What does do that are turbochargers.
Yeah.
So the difference between having a naturally aspirated car and a turbocharged car, there is a difference.
Yeah.
But if it's turbocharged anyways, which
Yeah.
everything is basically these
Yeah.
days, the hybrid system is actually kind of only adding benefits. Yes, weight, but again, in a car like this, which is so heavy anyway, in which they've worked on disguising the weight so much, you're not really going to feel that much of a difference. So you're getting the benefits of the hybrid system. The turbochargers have taken that extra character you'd get from a naturally aspirated engine out anyway. So actually it's kind of just a win-win.
Yeah.
So if you're not going fully electric, you can't really go naturally aspirated anymore. So this is the best setup you can have, and that's why I think it's the peak setup in new cars today.
I'm going to finish the video because we don't have that long to get back to the hotel. And that's the only shame about today, really. We've had lovely miles in the Continental GTC and the Continental GT. I would just like more time, basically.
It's the kind of car you could spend many hours in very easily.
Yeah. And to think that I did road trips down to Monaco in a Gallardo when I could have had one of these.
It's honestly, if you were to go on like a Gumball or something like that, this is the perfect car.
Well, me and Sam did Modball in a Phantom and everyone thought we were crazy. We had the best time.
Yeah.
So there we go. The Continental GT just got even more perfect. And I want one even more.
Good luck.
Thank you for watching, guys. Hope you've enjoyed this video. And I'll see you on the next adventure. Thanks, Seb.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Now you get out and then you head that way and I'll drive back to the hotel.
All right.
I literally said bye to you, so you
so
have to go.
I have to leave now.
You have to go.
God, it's going to be a long walk back to Monaco, isn't it? See you.
Bye.
Good to catch up.
See ya. Cheers.